on not only actors themselves and what they do, but what they do outside of acting and what they do in terms of what is sometimes required of actors while making it. There was a joke when I was living in LA that when you meet an actor and they say, you say, what do you do? They say, I'm an actor. You say, oh, well, what restaurant do you work at? And it's indicative of the fact that it's sometimes difficult to just be an actor. So I wanted to understand the nitty, the gritty, and the real nature of what it is to be an actor in today's day and age, as well as any areas that these actors with me here might see areas to break out or augment their work to stay active. So without further ado, if we could please welcome the actors, and they will introduce themselves. Yeah, you can introduce them.
Yeah, okay, I start. So my name is Takia Thomas. I'm from Germany, a German actress and stuntwoman actually. And that is how I came here. So I'm really excited for this talk and for these beautiful people to have a great talk together. Let's go.
I'm Dee Klare, also known as Dee. I'm also a Nigerian-German actor based in Berlin. And I'm thankful to be here. Let's have a good talk.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hi, I'm Lina. I'm an actress, also from Germany, based in Barcelona, with Arabic roots. So originally I come from Lebanon, and I'm very happy to be here.
Hi, my name is Frédéric. I'm a French actor. I live in Paris. I'm originally Chinese Cambodia, and I'm very happy to be here with you.
And thank you all for attending. So I think I just want to basically put it out there, and we may have touched on some of this in the past, but about the challenges that actors experience. It doesn't have to strictly be around racial lines. It can be whichever you think is most pertinent, whatever each actor or individual feels is a limitation or something they confront most often in their experience as actors. And if you'd like to start here.
No, go ahead. You have the microphone.
Okay, so the question was...
This is why I don't want to start, because
we can give you to Takia for the first one.
Yeah.
So I actually got into acting 2 years ago, I think, so it's not long. And I came through acting through my boxing experience. I was a professional boxer in Germany, and I love fight sports. I'm born for that. And because of that, I came to do stunt work, and I did some stunt workshops and some stunt work in films. And then I realized, okay, there's something more than stunt work. I actually love to act so much, and it's really sometimes it's not really easy that you are a stunt woman and want to be an actor, because on set you're always seen as a stunt woman and you cannot act in their minds, in their heads. So it was really quite challenging to let the people see me from another perspective. Yeah, and it's still quite not heavy, but I make it slowly but surely.
Of course, well done. My question then would be, in terms of the first time, what was the first experience to be like, you know what, I want to act in this one? Or was it an olive branch shown to you to be like, we need an actor, let's see where your mom... Yeah.
It actually was by accident. Yeah, I was on set, I was visiting my stunt crew or my stunt friends, and it was actually with a director and producer who's here, Laurent Omar. He's great, but I don't know where he is now. Yeah, and I was in his set, and I talked with him about acting, that I want to be an actress, and he told me like, okay, then let's do it. And he was so open-minded. I never met somebody who's like him. So I'm really thankful that he gave me the chance to show, you can act too.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And we need people like that. Love and think big.
Absolutely.
That's what we need, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I can only add up to this. Like I said, I'm German, Nigerian, born and raised in Germany, moved to the Netherlands for my son, stayed there 20 years to raise him. And during COVID, one of my best friends, who was also like a very established Jamaican German actor, his name is Tyron Ricketts, he finally pitched this thing called Sam a Saxon, and it got produced on Disney Plus. And with the post-production, he was in Amsterdam doing some negotiations. I was like, you know, we had a beautiful house, me and my ex-wife, guest bedroom, stay with us. And in this conversation, I was still 100% security guard, Amsterdam Red Light District. So I'm used to fight like she does, but I had to do it on the streets / club stores to make sure people like you are safe. So I've been to a lot of crazy shit, like I've been in a shooting, I've been stabbed, thank God I'm still alive. And while we had this conversation, all of a sudden he looks at me and he's like, I see something for you over there. Like, there's a play for you. I didn't know it's about security, and they invited me for the audition. And now comes the thing, because I was playing a security guy in this production, they only said, oh yeah, that's just you. That's just you. You play you. Exactly. They actually wrote me in under my own name. I changed the shit. I was like, I'm not gonna be Daniel Sam Saxon. So I made it into Ronnie. True story, nobody knows about it. And there was really a struggle to show people that I'm more than just a security guy that is acting a security guy. So therefore, I said it in the earlier panel, I had to change the narrative because all I saw was like the Snoop Dogg lookalike with the cornrows and the tattoos. And they're right like this, oh, gangster. I was like, F that shit, excuse my language. And therefore, I'm very grateful that I have 4 other productions and I didn't have to play the bad guy. Like my previous production, I said earlier in the panel, I'm playing an Afro-German successful architect. My little daughter has the main role, and I have a happy Afro-German family. I live in a mansion, so it's not the crack dealer, refugee, bad guy, no, positive. But it's been a 3-year progress. I've been doing this shit only for 3 years, so.
Well done. Absolutely.
No, I know the question. I'm glad. So yeah, actually.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so me, I had a different approach to become an actress. I started with journalism, actually. I went to journalism school and I studied 6 years. And I started working as a journalist. And then, yeah, it was kind of, I wanted to fight for justice in the world and, you know, to tell my stories as an Arabic person and stuff. And then I realized, okay, I can't go far with it, especially in Germany. I mean, every country has its own narratives. So yeah, I thought, why not become an actress and tell my stories through acting and producing? And then I went to acting school and I studied for 3 years and I became an actress. And I'm glad that as where does the music come from?
Just realizing that it's Tom Jones.
Can you please play some Marvin Gaye or something? Some good shit? I mean, please work with us over here. What's going on?
Okay. Well, so I started with acting and producing, and now I'm glad to tell my own stories as an actress. And I'm glad that I'm having the opportunity to go more into the Arabic market now. And that's amazing. That's what I wanted. And yeah, that's my route.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I just want to say before the last person speaks, I find it so interesting that there is really no one route towards acting. You know, we have the from whatever it was in security to classically trained in 3 years, and that's the beauty of it. It's the variety to combat sports, you know, and then it's just so varied the ways that you can get in. And I'm interested in also is it Frédéric's entry, but then I'd like to also move into how you sustain as an actor now, please.
I started to be an actor because I was 26 years old and I was very, very shy. At this period, I was a flight attendant working for Air France on the plane, and the thing is, it was too difficult for me to talk in front of people, and with this job, I have a lot of time, so I often go to the cinema. And I said to myself at this period, why not? I can try to go to theater and try to start like this. And after 2 years, I was the producer doing stand-up comedy. Give me the opportunity to do stand-ups, so I'm supposed to be funny. And I say that it's 70 years ago. So after that, I found an agent, and then quickly I did some casting and some movies, and after that I wrote a movie. It's called Made in China. It's about my origin, and and now I create my production in 2000. It's called Chau Production. And now I produce 2 movies. It's an action movie for Netflix.
Oh, okay. It's you, Mr. Shy Guy.
Sure. Oh, no, I get it. I got it. Yeah, I got it. Absolutely. That's one of the
It's Showtime. It's
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So I think that, as I'm saying, like this is very much an aspect of what it is to be an actor. But I've always found that it's seldom only what you do. So I'm interested in sort of a real conversation around some of the ways that you sort of have to, if it is the case, make ends meet, or ways that you're able to sort of parlay your skills in acting, or even further those skills in alternative means. If anyone has anything to speak on that.
I think, are you good?
Yeah, if I understand the question right, I said it earlier in the previous panel, like I've never been to any acting school whatsoever. And it pisses a lot of people off because they paid a fortune to become an actor and they're still not sitting in Cannes where I'm now for the 2nd year in a row. I think I can play most of the stuff that people offer me because I've seen it all. Like, I've seen it all. I've been adopted as a young child. I went by myself into a foster house when I was 13 years old. I've been in trouble by myself. I've been punished by the government. So I can play the good guy and I can play the bad guy.
You mean you go to jail?
I've been there. That's not even business. That's not even business. Google me. Google me. Try find me. But yeah, long story short, I think really my benefit is like that my acting school is a school of hard knocks. I've seen it all, from an empty fridge, not being able to pay my rent, literally running away from the cops to not being in jail, to now sitting here in Cannes looking at these beautiful people and enjoying this French Riviera. So, mi vida loca.
Absolutely, well done. And in terms of, I guess, opportunities that you see in the industry, can either of you guys sort of identify any emerging areas where you feel as though there's opportunity for actors to really get their voices out there, whether it be streaming services or self-promotion through things like TikTok and so on, and algorithmic ways of boosting yourself? Anyone can speak to that.
Well, I'm in the German market mainly, but what I'm observing is that the market is opening, and that's amazing. So European countries are starting to merge, are starting to do co-productions. And that's amazing. Because before we had the German market and it was just the German market, and now for Germans and for a special audience, and now with Netflix, with other streaming platforms, everything is opening, and also for actors. German actors know filmmakers. They're also opening for European castings as well. And this is new since 1 or 2 years. Everyone can apply. So it's going more the American way, that also unknown actors and actresses can apply. And that's amazing. And I think there will be a lot of chances to emerge and to build a huge European market, which can compete with the US market. And we see it happening now. There are so many good productions. I don't know, Exterritorial, for example. I watched it last week. It was so amazing. Yeah.
It's so important too. It's so important that we keep the German or the Europe market high.
Yeah.
Because you know what's going on in the US.
Exactly.
So we have to do that.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful to see that development.
Yeah.
That we have the opportunity as actors to go further.
Yeah.
And to do that. That's great. I'm so in love with people who have this open mind.
Yeah.
And I always want to, put people there.
Yeah,
Some people
absolutely.
are not
Narrow.
not open for that.
Yeah.
Not open for it because they are, like kind of living in their boundary.
Yeah.
And we have to open that up, and it's great that this is actually happening.
Yeah, it is.
now.
It is, and also like with diverse casts, like everything is opening. We have diverse characters now from different countries with different languages, with different accents, and that's so amazing. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that the German market would be like that, and I love it.
We still have to work.
Yeah, we're
The
still
work
working.
is not done.
Yeah.
We have to work.
Yeah, but
Like we said in the photo panel, like you said, there was. Sorry. Please. No, go on.
No, it's just what you say is true. It's more open now, the market for the cinema, because when I started 7 years ago, I was because I'm my particularity, because I'm Asian, and in the beginning they gave me the opportunity to play only character with the cliche of Asian. I was so stupid, and now I can see the difference, because more and more you can see more diversity in the project, in the feature films, and I think it's a good thing, because that's enough to see in the movie that Asian is a cliche, or Asian Arabic is a cliche, or Arabic blah blah blah. So now it's more open, and we have to continue in this way.
Absolutely. You said, or you would
What you just said, Fredi, is very nice, because I was not talking about your outfit.
Okay.
The statement. I think it's also important to have the authenticity. Because this is what was really missing, especially in German television, because it was mostly made for not people like us.
no.
You know what I mean? So we had like the stereotypes, German actors that I had to grow up with, and there was maybe one or two person of color, and I always had to play some messed up shit. So therefore, I'm really thankful that what we guys have said, that we are now at the point and at the time where we can represent and play and write our own stories, which makes it much more authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And in terms of just, thank you. And in terms of just, the factors that you feel are contributing to this, I mean, I can say that I was in LA before COVID and then after COVID as an actor and just working on as an extra mostly. And I can say that all the audition reels and so on, which was previously, auditions in person and such, where I felt like I could sell myself, now it was all self-submission. And I wonder if it is a sort of changing of the old guard, which was normally 65-year-old white-haired people, and they're just, pushing the same narrative and trying to pigeonhole you and such, or if it's more a changing of the times, which is indicative with things like, remote submissions and such.
Is that?
Yeah, it is a changing of the time, and also because we have become more diverse. In fact, I mean, Germany 20 years ago is not the Germany now. We have so many cultural groups, we have so many different and diverse people, and of course we have to adapt, and that's what's happening. I think it's a matter of time, and it's a matter of now. And I'm glad that we are able to tell our stories, and that there are productions who are interested in that. And I'm asked sometimes, Lina, do you have any ideas for a script? What's your experience as Arabic or refugee person in Germany? And they would like to write about it, and the cast will be diverse, because Germany now, or Europe, is a mixed thing. It's not white anymore. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's changing.
Absolutely. So, yes, absolutely.
No, I mean, I'm glad, because yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It has to be changed.
You said something nice about before and after COVID. Like, if I understood you right, before COVID, you had like live auditions where you actually see who you're dealing with, which was also my case in my first production. That was like the beginning of COVID. I had to travel from Amsterdam to Berlin doing all these PCR shenanigans until it got so worse that I almost didn't get into a hotel. And then, age of 45, I decided to change my career. Canceled my company, left everything in Amsterdam. My son was 18 years old. I was like, "You good to go?" And I came to Berlin, and all of a sudden there's a so-called thing called e-casting. I was like, what the heck is an e-casting? I honestly hate them. I don't know if that is kind of where you were coming from. Like, I don't know who is watching me. I don't know who I'm eventually playing with. I don't know if the energy is right. You know what I mean? Like, imagine I'm coming to a set with somebody I've been beefing with for like 20 years. You know, worst case scenario. And now you have to fake the funk. Like, let's meet first, talk, read. Can we kick it? Let's go. This whole e-casting thing, and to be honest, I never heard back from one of them. Everything I did so far, within the 3 years that we're doing this, was face to face. Like right now, I meet a producer or whatever, and be like, yo, I like your energy. I see something, let's go. And they all were very successful. That's why I'm here.
I absolutely see your point. But I think e-castings are a great opportunity for people who have like a big gap between them, distance. Thank you. Like distance between them, and you can do that. That gives so many actors the chance to actually apply for a job. So I think I see your point 100%. If the energy doesn't match, it's not fun. It's not cool. But there is also a point where it's great to have the e-castings.
Yeah, especially as we are becoming more European. Imagine you have to order someone from Italy to come to Berlin for a casting, you know? And it's so much easier to do it online.
Quite frankly, people that want to hire me, they know me, they've seen my shit. Like, why the heck do I have to do e-casting? If you like the way I play because you see different things, why am I dealing with this? I know acting colleagues, friends of mine, they never have to deal with this stuff because the people, the directors, they book them because they know them. You know, I might sound cocky, but then I'd rather work in a restaurant. I'll go back to security to pay my bills instead of selling my soul to the devil. Hell no.
Well said.
No, but I mean, yeah, it depends if you're known or not. For new people who enter the market, it's good to have the opportunity to have like online tapes or, you know, it's a big opportunity for a lot of people. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to have.
No, I actually heard back from the casting, so.
Lucky you.
And I think this is also the beauty of the variety of what it is to be an actor, you know, in the ways that like, it can be hit or miss for some, more hit for some than others. And I can say that, I mean, it's a person industry that we work in, right? So most things in life, at the end of it, come down to a vibe check. And I think that my experience at auditions was that I can sell myself to a vibe check. But if I'm recording myself, I don't sell myself well enough on video. You know, so that's an E problem, possibly a D problem. But I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just something which I feel is interesting to see the changing dynamics, which was entirely out of everyone's control. But just how we as creatives and within the industry roll with the punches and still manage to get done what we can do, and see these careers from such a variety of people, a diverse cast, you know, rising with it. So absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. Did you have something?
No.
Oh.
Because of the music.
That was not.
Yeah, it's so
I'm in my head.
What is that, Bob? It's just ridiculous.
I'm talking, but I don't even know what I'm saying because I'm focusing on the music. It's so much.
It's quite strange. No, not him. Not him.
I don't know.
Also.
I don't know.
No, it's insane, really.
Okay, but let's just switch gears a bit and talk more about personal, how you sell yourself when it comes to auditions or perhaps just networking. Do you have a sort of routine as actors? I know that when I was doing it, I would always fiddle with something. This ring I have here, it twists. So if I'm ever feeling a bit anxious, I twist the ring, just like privately, and it helps me sort of bring myself in. Do you guys have any rituals or anything like that?
Yeah.
Please. Anyone wants to speak?
First of all, I believe in God. I also have a ring like you do. Yes, you know.
Oh.
And I play with this whenever I'm like bored, anxious, praying, thinking, meditating. So yeah, keeps me on my grind.
Yeah. I can do, for my part, I can say I practice Qigong. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a meditating form of Kung Fu. I do that every evening, actually. And that is so, relaxing. When I go to bed and when I have a big thing at the next day, I'm super relaxed. I stand up and I'm, it's fine. Whatever happens, it's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Amazing.
For me, it's also the belief in energy. And also like the belief in myself and where I come from, what stories I want to tell, and what I'm here for. And that gives me a lot of strength. Even if I'm rejected, I'm like, okay, but I do want to tell my stories. I do want to spread my energy. I believe in that. And then it makes me calm and makes me believe in the future. And that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Of course, I have to manage my stress on the set. The things I do is just to focus on the character, on the profile of my character, and to compose with this, and maybe to put this energy of stress on the set and use it for when it's rolling.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah. Rejection is the thing that we have to deal every day with, and actually you have to find out as an actor. That's my personal opportunity. You have to find out if you're ready, or if you, as a person, if it's your thing, you can, if you are able to get rejected. But because you have to know, you get rejected often, very often, and sometimes you get rejected 100 times to do one job only, and you have to come through with that. And if you're not, and you're not the person for acting, that's not your thing, because you will break. So you have to be very clear in mind.
And I think it helps to know like what you're fighting for. If you're trying to make your face, make your voice seen, then obviously if you know that this passion is coming through acting, then that's your purpose and you want to get it done. I was telling you and a couple of other folks from Germany the story of when I was acting for a bit in LA, and I did not do well. I performed very publicly. There was a massive set. I thought it was a student project, so I was expecting some kind of scrappy, fun thing. In the end, it was like $2 million budget, and there was like 16 grips and the 450 lights, and I was like, this is not what I signed up for. I read the lines in the Uber here, so it just caught me off guard, and I was a deer in the headlights, and I did so poorly that in the end, I literally was asked not to return, which broke my heart. And I wasn't strong enough, as you said, because I realized acting was never my passion. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was an extra because I was close enough to people to do a vibe check, to be able to know who I'm wanting to make films with. And that was my journey, to know that I'm not an actor. I'm just someone who likes working with actors. I'm someone who likes facilitating the creation of films. So sometimes it is also important as an actor to find a niche, or even sometimes to step out slightly to areas where there's still great strength in what you're doing. Yeah. And in particular also for your martial arts background. So if you wouldn't mind actually talking about that, your sort of niche there in terms of being a stunt woman.
Of course, so as a stunt woman, you're always like really leveled up. I think the people around you, guys, are sometimes really, okay, he's a stuntman, it's great. But if you're a stunt woman, they're always looking at you. So you have to do a good job. And so you're under pressure. But I think I can deal with the pressure quite well. So I do that. I do my job. Yeah, it's quite cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing those videos, by the way, because you mentioned.
Yeah, some stunt videos. Exactly. I'm super excited for the next year's what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm really sure that if somebody see, because I'm actually also a bodybuilder, so you don't see because I wear the wrong clothes.
I see your deltoids.
I really have a big upper body, so I think I could go really,
How much do you overhead press?
Yeah, bodybuilding is not about weight.
No, of course, yeah.
It's something different. It's just
You're a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, be careful though. I'm telling you, watch this one, be careful.
I think to be an actor is like a professional sport.
Yeah.
Because it's you have to be good on the set when the director say action, and you have to preparing often for my example, when I'm not on the set, I'm training. It's about training. You know, I often go to the workshop with some director, cast director, and to learn how to be good, how to share also some experience, and to learn to some director and other comedian, other actors, sorry. And I think it's a training because it's like Olympic Games. You're training 4 years to be good at this time, and acting is the same thing. I think.
Absolutely.
I'm forgetting who said it, but there was someone who said something about
Daniel does not agree with me.
I hear you though.
Everyone has his own method.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, I'm paraphrasing someone here, but it was something like, luck is just preparation meets opportunity. Is that the phrase? So I think that also applies to acting, because you can be in the right rooms with the right people, but if you haven't worked on your craft, then you're just not the person. You're not their person. And I think that that's why it's also important, like martial arts, BJJ, by the way, over here.
BJJ is also so cool.
Oh my gosh,
We
wonderful.
have to do a session.
We're gonna roll.
Oh, that's great.
They're gonna rock with it.
But yeah, I just find that it's all about making sure that you're as prepared as possible. Now, in these final moments, a couple more minutes here, I actually wanted to sort of reach out to the audience to just see if anyone here has any questions or feedback or anything they want to say for this acting panel. Please, Yusuf.
So I'd like to know, first of all, very interesting meeting you all with these diversified backgrounds. I would like to know first, what would you recommend process of getting an agent? Or do we have to get an agent? I think we do, but
Yes.
I'm just asking. And then I had another question that I forgot.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back.
Yeah, I think it's very helpful to have an agent. I mean, it's not all, he made the other way to become an actor, I guess. It's possible, but yeah, I would recommend. And to get an agent, I think it's, I mean, I did it that way, that I started to deal with myself. Okay, who am I? What can I offer? What's my origin? What are my languages? With whom do I want to work with? And then I started to look for agents who could be interesting for me and who I could be interesting for. So I think it's pretty good to know yourself and what you want to achieve and what you want to act and the stories you want to tell, and then go and look for an agent. And then I'm pretty sure it's going to work out. Because at the beginning I was not, I was just writing randomly to any agents, and then I was like, what do I want as Lina? And then it worked out. Yeah.
Okay, coming back. What's your name, by the way? You didn't introduce yourself.
Yeah, I forgot. My name is Rania Man. I'm an Israeli living and working in Nigeria with European roots from Ukraine. And
All right, nice mix too. We're all over the place. Nice all over the place. So coming back to your agency question, like I said, I started Saxon. I was still working security. People like what I did, and they were like, "You need an agency." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get an agency. I'm not an actor in my mind, not an actor yet." And I got introduced to an agency, and they took care of me. But actually, I was just like number 1079. And nothing has been out yet, so therefore I was just invited to like premieres and being like the attraction. I was like, why they make a picture of me? They don't even know me. Like they haven't seen anything on television yet. So I decided to leave that agency, and I was like the last Berlinale, excuse me, which was my third Berlinale, the first time without an agent. And the thing is, I lived abroad for so long, I don't know who is the actor. I don't know who's the producer, I don't know who's the cast. I just go to events and I just treat people like human beings. And then maybe something nice happens, like with also me, we're not here, you know, that happened on a natural base. Now I do have an agency again and I'm happy for it, but it's important to find an agent that really represents you and not just look for agency that I have an agent. No, F that shit. I was without an agency for like more than a year, and I still work. I still have work. So be careful who you choose.
And I also wanted to touch on that in terms of anything you guys have experienced, going back to an earlier panel on AI and sort of new tools. Are you aware of any aggregating websites or apps and such that can help you with finding an agent through sort of like entering in what you're looking for, what your background is, and so on?
I mean, you can ask ChatGPT, but I really think, and I really believe that you have to deal with yourself and what do you want, and go talk to the agents, make your own research, because I think it's very important to be friends, to have a personal relationship and to have a partner in crime rather than to search on, I don't know, AI platform. I love AI, by the way, but for this kind of work, I think it's a personal thing and it's really worth it, like to step into it and to do it more personal.
It's actually, I think if you have an agent, if you have found an agent who you agree with, you have to keep the work up. It's not like you're in an agency now, you can do nothing and it happens. No, you always have to work. You always have to be, there and present yourself.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you won't make it. Because your agent can be the best agent in the world. If you don't do something for yourself, you do your craft work, you do your discipline, your training, then it will not work.
Exactly.
You have to be there, like 100%.
Yes. He's a partner, but he's not someone who's giving you the jobs.
With or without agents, you have to be good.
Always on focus.
Work on yourself.
Absolutely, thank you. And thank you for the question.
Sorry, I remembered my second.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, as an actress living in Nigeria, I don't get a lot of work because, but I did that turned me to venture into more directing and producing, which I'm very happy about. So I was kind of wondering, what's your day job if you're not acting? Like, how do you? Yeah.
I'm a police agent actually, and my normal work. That's what I do. So I'm really good with guns too.
She's doing good.
But yeah, I don't want to. If I love my job and I'm so thankful for my life. I'm so thankful where I came and I will be working on myself always. But if I could do acting like 100%, I would do it. I would say to my team, is absolutely incredible. They support me with everything. Like I was working yesterday, got to the train, and then directly came, to the airport and came to Cannes. And they wouldn't be able if my team wasn't standing behind me. So they are really great. But I would say goodbye to that team to do that, because that's my destiny, And if you know that your energy matches, you go. You just go. You do your thing.
Absolutely. And I also want to say, I was also working as a security guard when I was acting, so this whole right side is equipped, if nothing else. We have a question from Fredi.
My question is very simple. I was asking that we're here at AfroCannes celebrating diversity, but also people of African descent. So my question is for you actors, meaning that, for example, we have here in the room many, let's say, film directors and producers from Africa, the continent, but also from the African diaspora. So now, as an actor, what would it take for you to be part of productions that are, for example, Nigerian, because we have a very strong presence in Nigeria here, or South African, or Ivorian in some sort of, because I know that there is a different way of storytelling in Europe or in America than it is in Africa. So would you be interested in such project? And what would be your expectations?
May I start before I forget it? Because this is a very interesting question. So my father is from Nigeria, from Calabar. And I never met him, unfortunately, because my biological mother didn't do such a great job. I discovered I'm Nigerian 8 years ago, age of 40. Celebrated my 40th birthday with my German mother and realized the other side is gone. I've never been to Nigeria yet. Story of my life, like for the Germans, I'm too black. For the Nigerians, I'm too white. Yeah, story of my life. I mean, we all know, we don't have to make a joke about this, a sad fact. And my uncle is the first Nigerian world champion featherweight boxing. Hogan Kid Bessie for all the Nigerians in here. That's my bloodline. Therefore, I know where my uppercut is coming from. And I would love to change the narrative also for our Nigerian brothers that are a bit more dark-skinned than I am. And I'm down for whatever. Book me, hire me. I'm ready, let's go. Niger.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you.
For my part, it's as you can see, I'm an Asian, so it's quite difficult, I think, to. It depends on the story, but when I travel a lot in Africa, I saw there's a lot of more and more Asian community. Do I'm right? You know?
Community in Africa?
Yeah, I see a lot. Yeah, and maybe.
It's true.
Yeah, but so maybe stories come, you know, create with African and Asian living there, and with the I don't know the name in English, but it's quite difficult for me because I'm comment on dit tributaire. It's depend on I'm Asian, so it's quite difficult for me to I think for director or producer or write a script writer to write something because it's very new that Asian community are in Africa. And maybe not new.
No.
So it's coming soon.
Thousands of years.
Okay, so I'm here. If you want to put an Asian in the production. Okay, I'll send you the phone number of my agent.
I love it.
With pleasure, my God.
Well, that's a hard question, and I haven't dealt with it, to be honest, but I'm gonna improvise. I know there is a huge Lebanese community in Nigeria. I'm from Lebanon, and I have a lot of cousins who live there. There's someone agreeing on that. And I think if I would be interested, I would be interested as a Lebanese actress, and because there are stories and interactions and relationships between Lebanese and Nigerian people. Yeah, I speak Arabic because I'm from Lebanon originally, so yeah. That would be the point. I think this would be the direction for me to be a Lebanese in Nigeria because there is a community and there is a relationship. That's it, yeah.
You also asked what topic we want to, we were interested.
The topic.
I'm actually I would find it super cool to do like a full Black people action movie. Like only people with, maybe also Lebanese people. And me too. I
So, equalizer, if I have to mention one of those. I mean, because when I go African, I go African American or Afro-Brazilian. Because if you say there are no action movie with African.
No, there are action movies with African. I think some of the action or most of the action movies are always, for example, they are led by a white guy. They are the soldiers and they're leading with a white guy. Why not turn that around? Yeah, it's changing. Let's do it. Yeah.
The local people here.
Yeah.
So we call it the complex of the white savior, right? It's just something that has been established in
Please, give her a mic.
Yeah, please.
The complex of the narrative of the white savior that we've seen over the years or sometimes is currently changing, all right? Meaning that I think that people take now ownership in their stories and telling it's a story that reflect their reality, I can say so. And as far as action movies today, you can find, you take Equalizer, for example, with Denzel Washington, who is a great actor. He's also an action movie and so on and so forth. You can take, there's so many examples, maybe not on many of your radar, but there are many movies these days featuring African American or African leads that reclaim let's say the narrative and not portraying that constant idea that African or Black needs to be safe as someone from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's very important also to do a kind of work which is I don't know if you can, any of you can name, 10 African American movies or 10 African movies. So that will be the start. Because for example, for me, if I tell you, okay, I watch a lot of Christopher Nolan movie, from Inception to Dark Knight, for instance. But I'm not too sure that if you take any person in the street mentioning, oh, can you mention 10 movies, black movies, for example? For me, I grew up watching, I don't know, movies like The Best Man, for instance, Michael Lee, or what other movies can I mention? I know all the movies from Kylie, and so on and so forth. So I think that at the end of the day, for us to change the narrative, there's also a need to understand or to explore other, culture. For example, Asian culture. For me, I love Wuxia movie. One of my favorite directors is John Woo. He did Chibi and the Battle of the Red Cliff and so on and so forth. I love them.
What about Korean cinema?
Korean cinema. So I think that one of the biggest challenge here is for, the other cultures be interested in what's happening elsewhere. And not think that because we're all here because we have a story to tell. But are you actually interested in listening to those stories or to seeing those stories? This is because when you say, I want to see movies, black action movie, everybody here who is African or Afro-American, whatever, to say, okay, what is she talking about? Does it make sense?
Yeah. I got it.
So we have 2 more questions, possibly 3, but definitely from Yusuf. I saw your hand there.
I can be loud.
There we go. Project, brother. Absolutely.
Okay.
Since my brother here,
Frédéric.
it was no harm here. My brother's wife is Cambodian. So
I'm Cambodian.
I know, I remember. That's why we already have
You are with my sister. I know.
your martial artists is action film. So we already got the film right there.
Yeah.
Lebanese, I'm doing a production that's called 72 Hours in Abidjan.
Oh.
That is one of the characters is Lebanese.
You see?
Based in Africa, Lebanese, right? So
That's amazing.
We're there already.
Yeah.
We're thinking of these stories. We're trying to draft these stories. What I would like to know is how do you, and I guess this is really the question, what is the story, what are the stories that you're interested in participating in? Which is, I think, a little different phrasing of the question, because it's not that these stories aren't there. I mean, you can talk to anybody here, and I promise you, there's somebody in this room who already has a story, has written a story, produced a story, directed a story, acted in a story that's already been done, and are doing that. But what are the stories that you want to participate in? Because I think the area that is from your perspective of the folks here, how can you initiate or be a part of productions that aren't necessarily the mainstream narratives? I mean, one classic Black Asian film is Rush Hour.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, beautiful movie, and there's a long history. I mean, Sinners was out. It's an amazing movie. Central character in it are Chinese people, right? And so, and even in that display of the culture of the Pan-African diaspora culture, there's also, if you look in it, the Chinese culture there. So maybe, what do you want to be a part of, I guess is the question. What do we got to do to get you a part of these productions?
That's a tough question, though.
Yeah.
Let me know. I feel you, brother. I like it. Challenge accepted. Let me marinate this for a second. What can we bring to the table? I think, for example, a lot of people have never talked about is that there's also a very long and strong Afro-German history. I mean, we've been in Germany for quite a long time, and it's never been told. Vice versa, the Germans been in Africa, and that's kind of been told, but then in their own perspective. And I think there's a lot of potential to do Afro-German movies done by Africans and Afro-Germans in Africa, which is, I think, we come back to authenticity and telling our own stories and changing the narrative. And as I said earlier, me personally, I am down for whatever. If anyone is writing something and you need a bad guy, I play the bad guy. I can also play the architect. I play the policeman. I am here and I am ready. Let's go. That's all. Let's go. Thanks for the question. I love that.
I mean, I can only say in terms of my screenwriting as well as the production things that I've been working on, it's just to always be telling either African stories, stories through African voices, or trying to find a way to weave in historical contexts of some of my favorite Black people, people of color, and the richness of those stories through non-traditional means and non-traditional methods. As I mentioned with regards to my TV series, so it's all white German kids, but it's using Shona as the language, and that's my way of speaking to the African roots and speaking to the beauty that is the history of Africa. Yeah. And if you guys have anything else to say. Okay.
I have to think about it.
So I have one more question. Two questions. Yeah. Can we have a quick question from the man with the, yes, you in the red, sir?
Yeah, so my name is Adonijah Owila, Nigeria. So I just want to, give us a perspective. Africans are very well traveled. Nigerians in particular, they practically no part of the globe we go to, find. So my brother, you will never be too white in what you call, because we are so very used to, cousins and relatives, that are not so white, not so Caucasian, not so Asian. I bet that's why you have a Nigerian father like you, because he traveled to GenB, right? So that's what it is. So in Nigeria, we are very, very multi-racial in the way we live and relate, because we live everywhere in the globe. So when we go to those of us that are saying, get married there and then have kids that are mixed, like you. So you come to Nigeria, you will never be a stranger. Okay? And then my brother talked about, projects that actually, get people like here in the world. Our movie 77 that will be screened in the next 2-3 days, we actually shot parts of the scene in Lebanon. The entire cast that came to Lebanon for 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, just to capture that aspect of the story, because we wanted it to be authentic. So just like my brother said, somebody somewhere in Africa is already doing something that you have in mind and want to be part of. So just make yourself available and then ensure you policy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. And then finally, a question from the dapper gentleman in front.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for this talk. My name is Yusuf. I'm an actor. So my question is, we know that cinema is an industry. As an actor, there are some producers here too. What do you think about the fact that in some casting, it's important to have a lot of followers anyway? So what do you think about this? Because it's an industry and the production have to maintain the kind of break even point.
Dude, I'll feel you big time.
How to do a balance?
I honestly just tell you, I have to make it quick. Just keep believing in yourself. I have maybe 5,000 followers. I really don't care. And I've been invited to any kind of big premieres in Berlin, red carpet, paparazzi shenanigans. And nobody gives a damn about me, which is fine, because I have my peace of mind. And then there's little kids, 16 years old, they have nothing to do with this business. They're not even actors, they're influencers. They get invited so that the production gets the reach from these so-called influencers. I think it's wrong, to answer your question. I think they should cast and book us for the talent and authenticity and not for how many followers we have. Because I can buy me some followers just to be fake, but hey, come on. I ain't got time for this.
I think it's not the most important the how many followers you have. I think the most important is the intensity of the sincerity of the story you want to work with.
I'm asking this question because in France, in some casting, there is several actors. You can how say that? If I pass the casting is good for me, but the competitor.
Has more followers.
Sure.
More followers.
He takes the rules.
But you don't have the guarantee that you have maybe a billion followers that you're gonna have the success of your So the guarantee is what the intensity of what you do in your acting. if you're a good actor or not.
Furthermore, I would say in terms of how you're selling yourself as a person, in terms of just the followers, I was working with a prospective actor in Germany, actually, Zoe, and she had, as you said, very few, 5,000, maybe, I think it was actually 11,000 on one of the social, on TikTok, and then 5,000 elsewhere. But what I did was get a little creative with how I was pitching her. So I looked into how many likes she had on every single like she had, and I added it all up, and I said, she has 1.1 million impressions. And they were like, oh damn, like let's get her in here. But she only has 5,000 followers. So it's also the creative way you're choosing to sell yourself, and maybe if you have an agent, how they're choosing to sell you. So you can get creative with it. But as we're wrapping up, I just want to say thank you to all the actors for taking the time to ask the questions and to speak on their truths. It's been a pleasure to have them here, and also to speak with the actors who are not here. There's many actors out there in the audience. You can see it in sometimes just the aesthetics. I mean, I can speak to Jessica. When she was walking down the stairs, I was like, she's an actor, got it. And there's the gentleman with the hat and the overalls, and I was like, that guy's clearly an actor. He looks wonderful, you know, because you can see this aspect of like, you see a look. And as someone who has like 30 projects that are partially written or fully written, I see different role in the people that I come across. And there are producers here, creatives of all kinds. So just keep that working, keep speaking to the people next to you, and let's keep pushing what we're doing here.
Rising to the top.
Rise to the top.